So on the Trump battleships, while American families can't even keep their heads above water, Donald Trump is spending his time building himself a golden fleet of battleships the Navy doesn't want. Just get a load of this headline. Cost of Trump's namesake warships likely to rise by 50% or more. Cost to rise by 50% or more. As the article in the New York Times says, his goal of building a golden fleet of 15 battleships could cost $275 billion. Frankly, when Americans hear this, they have no idea whether they need the battleships. They know the only thing Trump cares about is having his name on things. So the fact that there's a fleet of Trump battleships, cost doesn't mean anything, necessity doesn't mean anything, that people are suffering and need help feeding their families, paying their electric bills, paying the cost of gasoline means nothing to him. Having his name on a bunch of battleships, expensive battleships, is all he cares about. Trump couldn't handle renovating a reflecting pool or building a ballroom. Now he thinks he's ready to design and construct 15 Trump-class, I mean, this guy, he knows no limits, Trump-class battleships that will cost more than $250 billion taxpayer dollars. $250 billion. He's had a lot of vanity projects. They've been very expensive. This is the most costly vanity project yet. The Navy never wanted these ships. The American people never asked for these ships. The only person who wants these golden ships is Donald Trump, so he can slap his name on them. Trump's willingness to drop $275 billion on another vanity project, but not a single penny to lower costs for working Americans, just confounds the imagination. Trump could use the money for these battleships to offset the entire nearly $200 billion cut he made to SNAP. Feeding hungry kids or creating an unnecessary class of battleships to put your name on them, which is more important to America? The answer is a lot different than what Trump thinks. But no, Trump would rather feed his own ego than feed the American people. He'd rather feed his own ego than feed the American people by putting his name on $275 billion 15 battleship outlay. The ballroom, the reflecting pool, the arch, and now the battleships. These are the reasons why more than 7 in 10 Americans think Trump is not focusing on the top issues facing the country. Donald, the American people don't need a fleet of golden Trump-class battleships right now. They need a life raft. On mortgage rates, as Trump focuses on his exorbitant vanity projects, Americans can tell what he's ignoring, lowering their costs. As if Americans weren't struggling enough already, they just saw mortgage rates hit their highest level in a year because of Trump's disastrous war and failed economic agenda. Trump has turned the American dream of owning a home into a pipe dream. Let's not forget when Trump called our bipartisan bill to lower housing costs a joke and refused to sign it. He was belittling the need for housing. The president acts like he's allergic to helping Americans. What does Trump have to say to the millions of families just trying to make it through the week as they drown in higher gas prices and grocery bills? Trump said yesterday that Americans are living, quote, in the greatest economy we've ever had by far. Those were his words in Nevada yesterday. In practically the same breath, Trump said we may have to send oil prices up. The president's lost any grip on reality. He's so in his own world of creating monuments to himself that he's forgetting the American people all the time. It's not just he doesn't think of them enough, he hardly thinks of them at all. The greatest economy we've ever had? Tell that to the family that's deciding between filling up their tank and filling up their fridge. Tell that to the veteran I met who said that he sometimes has to choose between feeding his child and feeding his service dog. Whatever fantasy world Trump is living in sounds a whole lot nicer than the economic hardship Americans are struggling with right now. Trump's playbook has only one page: deny reality until the bill comes due, and then send it to you, America. And finally, on nominations. Trump's main priority is his pointless vanity projects. But he has another: packing our government to the rafters with far-right-wing extremists. Senate Republicans are ramming through a nominations package that'll put a grab bag of charlatans and MAGA foot soldiers into the highest positions of power. The Senate GOP knows how absurd some of these nominees are, which is why they're trying to flood the zone and push them through with a single vote. They couldn't withstand sunlight. They couldn't withstand spotlight. They couldn't withstand the scrutiny that individual nominations process would have done to them. All these nominees will have different jobs, but they share the same qualification: absolute loyalty to Donald Trump, no matter how ridiculous his policies are. The American people expect more from their government than just blind loyalty to Donald Trump. I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.
1, 0, liftoff.
Every day, history unfolds.
Chance to change the lives of millions of people for the better. That's what I came into politics.
A decision is made. A question is asked. A protest begins. A missile is launched. A treaty is signed.
Change the political structures in this country for a long time to come.
It is deeply humbling.
A vote is counted. The world changes.
We will have to raise our voices.
We oppose violence.
Hate, it is not a solution.
We demand accountability from the government.
Are we ready?
But before the headlines, before the debates, before the opinions, there is the moment itself. The words that were spoken.
By 2008, we knew that Epstein was a convicted sexual abuser. How was that not a deal breaker for the president?
If you, Congresswoman, asked Bill Clinton that.
The people who lived it, the images that tell the story, because the closer you are to the event, the closer you are to the truth. At APT, we believe news should begin where history happens, not where the arguments begin.
Or do you want to go there?
That's why we bring you the moments that matter. Accurate, powerful, timely, so you can see more, understand more, and decide for yourself. Accurate, powerful, timely,